Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the greatest recordings ever. And oh my God, there's so many greatest recordings ever, aren't there? Of course, there are about 30 billion times that number in crappy recordings ever. But we're not talking about those, fortunately, because otherwise the series would be already thousands and thousands of discs long. But today I'm going to do something unusual. We're talking about holiday music, and particularly Bach's Christmas Oratorio. Yes, you know that. It's by the Bach guy. Now, I don't usually talk about holiday music during the holidays because I like to play it anytime. My feeling is that if it's a masterpiece, you should listen to it whenever you feel like listening to it. And it doesn't matter. But on the other hand, I have to confess, having piles and piles and piles of holiday music, especially if you're not a member of the religion whose holiday it is, and the holidays come around, it does give you an excuse, and a good excuse to churn your collection, to go through and listen to things and play with them, because everybody else is doing it, and it's fun. It really is fun. It's a good time, and the Christmas Oratorio, of course, is just marvelous. It's right up there with Handel's Messiah, although I kind of like Messiah better because I played it more frequently. But here's the interesting thing about the Christmas Oratorio. I first discovered it on period instruments. Harnoncourt's recording, which I loved, his first one. And, oh, God, it was exciting. Largely because it begins with a timpani solo. And, anything that begins with a timpani solo, you got to love, right? And that's not because I'm a timpanist, Well, maybe it is. But that's not the point. It's a terrific piece of music, and it's extremely enjoyable. And the nice thing about it, I think, is that it comes in 6 parts, in 6 separate cantatas, so that you can take them in pieces and listen to them over several days or one a day. You don't have to, sit through the whole thing at one go. And for me, anyway, that I think is a great advantage because you can savor each bit as it comes, and you don't feel like you're under some sort of pressure to spend 3 hours like in one spot or whatever. It's really a beautiful, beautiful piece. Now, like I said, the performance that I discovered it by or with was Harnoncourt on period instruments, which I thought was very, very exciting. I had my score, I was sitting there watching it, and they're all going, Jauchet, Freude, bump, 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 oh God, it was fun. It really is one of those physical pieces because it's based on, it's a parody work. It's based on music from secular cantatas originally, anyway, or some of it is. And so it just seemed to have a wonderful, joyful character that's very in keeping with the holiday season. It's not the greatest recording ever, the Harnoncourt. No, it's not. It is, hang on a minute, the Richter, which is in this Richter box. I have it separately too. It's, down in the overflow room separately, and I've also got, the Richter does great Bach. Karl works separate box and all that stuff, but I happen to have this one kicking around here, so I took it out. Let me see if we can remember what fun this thing was. Here we go. I got it out. Here we go. We get the lid open. And, this thing. Should I keep this? I usually get rid of these things, but, because they disintegrate. They get old and they become this horrible gunky stuff. And, but I wasn't sure whether to get rid of this one or not. What do you think about it? Anyway, there's that. And then we take out the book, because there's like 7,000 discs in here. Discs 1 through 64 are all Bach, if I'm not mistaken. Does it say that here? Yes, discs 1 through 64. They are all Bach. So it's a little while before we get to the Christmas Oratorio, but I can tell you why it's so fabulous as soon as we find it here. There it is, Christmas Oratorio on CDs 13 through 15. Why? Well, it's because it has like the best soloists ever. The soloists are just unbelievable. And Bach cantatas, or cantata-like pieces like this. You have to have a good chorus, of course, but they really live or die on the ability of the soloist, because mostly what you have are arias, and beautiful arias and affecting arias, and you've got to have great singers first and foremost. Quite frankly, if you've got great singers, then the performance practice bullshit just is irrelevant. If the singers are into it. I've said it before, and I said it in connection with Beecham's Handel Messiah, which I also think is just a very true point, which is ultimately what matters is not the technique used in the music. It's not, it doesn't play itself. What matters is how involved and dedicated the performers are, and how deeply they identify with the spirit of the composer as manifest in the music. And you cannot argue that Karl Richter was Bach incarnate in some ways. He really, really was. He just got it. And as I've gotten older and listened to bazillions of performances of the Christmas Oratorio, I keep coming back to this performance. I don't think it was even my reference recording when we were doing the Christmas Oratorio or the ideal Bach choral works. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But I can certainly say that this Christmas, this holiday, which is 2024, going back and listening, boy, I just get more and more impressed with Richter's Bach as the ultimate expression of what the music is trying to do. I mean, it's bold, it's earthy, it's spiritual. It encompasses just such a wide range of feeling. The forces used are a little bit on the large side. It's not like a teeny tiny minimalist Bach at all. But then again, you need more people if you're going to really have a wide expressive range. If you've just got 3 people, you've got a problem. Anyway, but the soloists, the soloists. You've got Wunderlich, Janowitz, Christa Ludwig, Fritz Wunderlich, and Franz Crass. I mean, really, seriously, fabulous, fabulous vocal soloists. I mean, the first trumpet is Maurice Andre. I mean, Maurice Andre, for heaven's sake. It's incredible, the level of talent and the dedication that Richter engenders in all of the participants in this performance of the Christmas Oratorio. It was recorded in 1965 in Munich, and I just think it's extraordinary. I really do. So I want to wish all of you a happy holiday season, if that's when you're watching this. If it's not the holiday season when you're watching this, I hope the next holiday season is very happy for you. But I really am coming to regard Richter's Bach as more and more special the more I listen to it. And that's what makes a great performance worth revisiting. Or great performances, I think. They grow on you. They really do. Even if your initial impression might have been a very, very different performance in a very different style. And it's always worth keeping your mind and your ears open and keeping on listening, of course. So thank you for joining me, friends, and take care.